Right, let's share this. Boxing. Oops, wrong one. Yeah, that was the right one. Hang on, guys, I'm just setting up. This problem about going live. I preferred the old system. The old way of doing it was so much better. That's too long-winded. All right, now. Okay, all right. I don't have too much time, but I've got a bit of time, so. Right, who we got? A KFC. I had KFC a couple of days ago. Good stuff. I like KFC. You got a like from me. Thank you. I appreciate it. Yep. How's your unboxing? Hope you're good. And Glass Chin. I've never gone live. I should try. It's a pain. It's an absolute pain. I don't like the StreamYard thing. I don't like it. On the old way, I could use via YouTube, use OBS, and therefore I could put on graphics and all that kind of stuff. And it was pretty good. It was all right, I should say. On here, you're kind of limited as to what you can do. And because I don't go live often enough, what I can't do, or what I shouldn't do, is pay for the upgrade so you can start putting in backgrounds and all that kind of stuff. I don't go live often enough to do it. Who do you have for Conor Benn versus Chris Eubank Jr.? You have to favour Chris Eubank Jr. right now. I think I favour Chris Eubank Jr. I would not be upset at all if Conor Benn won. I actually like both guys, so yeah, it is. It is. It's a nightmare. It's plain. It's boring. Do you know what I mean? There's no graphics. It's just that on the screen. That's it. So Fury Joshua on, off, on, off. That's exactly what it is. It's on, off, on, off, on, off. I think Eubank, that £5 doesn't weaken him down the stretch. Yeah, exactly. If he starts to get drained, and starts to really fatigue because hasn't managed to rehydrate properly, I can honestly see his dad throwing the towel in, if I'm being honest. Random question: have you heard of VR? Let's have a little tickle in Creed, or perhaps Thrill of the Fight when it has multiplayer. Was that games? My son, he's got all the gadgets. He's got the Apple iPad. He's got Nintendo Switch. He's got 3 Xboxes, the Series X, Xbox One, and the 360. And he's got a VR headset as well. But he doesn't really play the VR headset too much. It's like you download a game on it, and then he gets bored of it. I mean, I quite like the roller coaster one. Does AJ Fury happen in A this year, B next year, C never gets made? I'm going to hold out for A. I'm really going to hold out for A right now. I'm hoping Fury's just messing about. Favourite Chris too, yeah. Especially since he's got a new style trainer with Roy Jones Jr., but he seems to be a little bit awkward with his last 2 fights. Well, Roy Jones Jr. is not going to be in the corner for this one. Apparently, it's going to be Ronnie and his dad. So, and apparently he's been training himself as well. I'm not too sure if that's a good idea of him, but it's starting to get consistent with the lives. Well, I did one last night, and to be honest, I'm kind of sick of the whole Fury Joshua talk. Because after I did the live stream yesterday, I went to Ring IQ. I was on there for about an hour, maybe. And of course, we're talking about it, and now I'm kind of like drained of Fury AJ talk, to be honest. I'm kind of drained of it. I haven't looked on social media to see if there's any kind of updates. So if there are any updates, you're not going to have to let me know about it. Oh, okay. Okay. Yeah, actually, my son on his VR headset, he's got some boxing game as well. It was tiring. I was knackered. I was breathing through my ass. Just doing like the speedball and all that kind of thing. And then, of course, because my son, he's only 9, so obviously he's quite short. So I'm having to do the game on my knees. And I was knackered. I was absolutely knackered punching up the opponent. It was really hard. Thoughts on Boxer tapping up fighters under contract and how they've treated the fighters? I don't know if they have been tapping up fighters, to be honest. I have no idea about that. I wouldn't know. Although I wouldn't have thought so, because when Boxer and Sky Sports they first got together, I compiled a list of fighters from the Northeast that should be signing up with Boxer and Sky Sports, and I was told no for a few of them because they were MTK at the time. This is before MTK closed down. So tapping up, no, I don't think that tapping up. At the end of the day, it's not tapping up if you're going through the manager or the promoter, as long as you're not going directly to the fighter. Although the only one I can kind of think of is, wasn't there some kind of issue with Lawrence Okoli? But again, Lawrence Okoli, to be fair, he said in days before that he's a free agent. So I don't know. What is up, Adam? Nick Harmer, I see you. I hope you're good. But anyway, it's a great fit for Whyte. Yeah, hopefully. I mean, I'd like to see him adopt something a little bit different. But at the same time, obviously, I mean, he's not 25 years old, so there's not too much more he can do. All he needs is a bit of fine tuning now, and just have another assault, a few big fights, and then that's it. Again, if I miss anybody in the chat, because I'm quite literally restricted to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I can see on my screen, so I can only see the last 6. And I could scroll back up, but then I'm going to be like ages behind. So just repeat your question, and I'll get around to it. Ronin Sevens. I got bored of Fury Circus a few days ago, so tedious. I still don't believe it happens right now. It probably happens sometime next year. Yeah, maybe. As long as it ain't Manuel Char. I mean, if Fury ends up fighting Joyce, I'm okay with that. I'm okay with that. To a lesser extent, I know it's not going to go down very well, but I'm actually okay with Chisora as long as Manuel Char's not there. Do you know what I mean? I don't want to be seen him fight Manuel Char. Do you not get enough of the nutters last night? They were weirdos, weren't they? Some of them. They were proper weirdos. And not one of them wanted to pop on. Any retired boxer you think ambassador for boxing? Yeah. Ambassador for boxing. I mean, I'd like to see a few of them. Former boxers go on the British Boxing Board of Control. Like, I've heard my son messing about. I don't know. Yeah, like Jimmy Tibbs and that, for example, and whatever. I'd like to see them on the British Boxing Board of Control. I really would. I truthfully want to see Crawford Spence. Yeah, so we're talking about that last night on Ring IQ's live panel stream. And it seems that Terence Crawford, he's accepting whatever offer that they're putting into him from Al Haymon, PBC, where to the point where he's even accepting, was it 30 or 35%? And with no guaranteed set money, no minimum guarantee, But the holding point is that apparently, Al Haymon and the PBC are refusing to give him transparency of the money. So in other words, after the fight, whatever he gets paid is he has to take the word of Al Haymon to say, well, that's how much the fight made. Crawford is saying, but I want to see the books. I want to see what it generates. And apparently that seems to be the money. So it's a case of Al Haymon is saying to Crawford, well, you're going to have to take my word for it. And that's not right, is it? Who is Char? Yeah, exactly. Emmanuel Char, exactly. I'm not watching the Char fight. Nope. Char fought Vitaly Klitschko. Yeah, he did. How many years ago? Long time ago, right? Was it 8, 9 years ago? If AJ doesn't face Fury next, who should he face? I'd like to see Joshua. Well, sorry, if AJ doesn't face Fury. If that fight doesn't happen, I'd like to see Joshua do a world tour. I'd like to see him go over to China, take on Zhilei Zhang, go to Croatia, take on Filip Perkovic, and maybe get a Joyce fight and that kind of stuff. That's what I'd like to see AJ do. I really would. I'm so sick of Fury's Z-Rat and ticks. Absolutely. You are not wrong. I'm sick of it too. Try to be a waste of money to watch. I agree. Totally agree with that. Yeah, Steve. Hope you're good, my man. I fancy my chance of taking Manuel Chance D Wars. Yeah. You know, I fancy your chances to do that too. By the way, if nobody here is subscribed to Boxing UK, my pal Stephen, click his name in the chat and subscribe to him. He's up and down the country, goes to all the shows, gets all the exclusives and that for you. And of course, he's from my neck of the woods, which makes him a super cool dude. AP and V's. Char would be a waste of money to watch, yeah. Fury, I think, would fight him, try and KO him in the early round to make himself look impressive with no challenge. Yeah, of course. He'll just play with him. That's all he'd do, you know. That's all he'd do. Bro, Spence wants nothing to do with Crawford. Well, that is the other side of it, yeah. It's weird though, isn't it? Because you kind of get the impression that really when you look back at the receipts, you've got Errol Spence Jr. talking about how Terence Crawford's on the wrong side of the street, meaning that, of course, he's with the top rank at the time. But now there's no barriers. Now there's no side of the street, but yet they still can't get it done. Is it because the PBC are broke? Because they don't have any money? It's ridiculous. PBC are choking the life out of boxing. You're not wrong. C-Dub, what's up? Shout out to you, my man. Shout out. Everyone is sick of Fury now, but I think Eddie doesn't want AJ to fight Fury right now. I think he wants to get him a win or two first. Yeah, maybe. That's conceivable. I can see that being the case. I can. But then that's up to AJ to give the instructions of get the fight done. Because at the end of the day, it's not Eddie Hearn that makes the fight. It's 258 management. It's Anthony Joshua's management team that makes the fight, not Eddie Hearn. Or at least in theory. From being retired to not fighting for less than $500 million to fight Emmanuel Char. I know. It's a merry-go-round, isn't it? It really is. Would rather see Fury versus 1 and 2 than Char. Yeah, exactly. I would too. For America, Bomb Squad coming for Usyk than AJ. I don't know. He's got to get through Helenius and Ruiz first, which I do favour him to do, by the way. Yep, exactly. Big up to Boxing UK. Who do you think would win, Deontay Wilder or Usyk? I feel Deontay would get a KO. Do you really? Nah. No, I don't think Wilder would land a glove on him. No, we saw how the southpaws make Wilder look. Look at Luis Ortiz in both fights. Well and truly outdone him until the right hand landed. Artur Spilka, well and truly, he made Wilder look ridiculous. And Usyk is levels and levels and levels above a Spilka and a Luis Ortiz. So imagine what he would do to Deontay Wilder. Of course, it doesn't always work out that way. You never know. Get a boxer, get stripped of the Ring magazine. Who's that? So I think I probably missed. Maybe you put something in to start with and I've missed it. Because people say broke. Stop it. It's just business. The business has to be right. Meaning what? What business? I mean, Crawford apparently has said, okay, I'll take 35% split. You just show me the books. You show me all the money that gets generated. Al Haymon saying, no, that's not business. That's stealing from the man. If it's true, of course. Have you seen Jared Anderson or Frank Sanchez? Yep. Do you think they will be world champion level? Very early to say. Very early to say. Jared Anderson is still too raw at the minute. Frank Sanchez, to be honest, if you put Jared Anderson and Frank Sanchez in the ring together right now, who would win? You'd have to favour Frank Sanchez right now. But long term, in the next 3 years, I'd favour Jared Anderson, I think. Yeah, I like them both. Hopefully they make Whyte versus Wallin in November. Yeah, why not? Why not? Well, I heard that could be Jermaine Franklin for Dillian Whyte. I heard that. Yeah. Al Heyman's broke. No, not Al Haymon. PBC. Not Al Haymon. Who does UK blame for Boatsy versus Yard not getting made or making fights? If the business was right, it would have happened. No, it's because Frank Warren, Queensbury, they want Anthony Yard to fight for the world title. That's why. And Joshua Boatsy is a legitimate threat. I mean, again, apparently, Matchroom offered Anthony Yard, was it a couple of mil? And they turned it down, so. As good as Terence Crawford is, and the decision he's made to leave top rank, he is just not appealing. It's because he's not outgoing. He's not out there putting out social media posts all the time and confronting people in hallways and all that kind of stuff, So, yeah. But at the end of the day, you could arguably look at it and say that the PBC spent so much time trying to belittle Terence Crawford that he had nothing compared to Errol Spence, and the WBO belt isn't a real world title belt. These are the kind of things that the PBC were doing, if you remember. Well, quite clearly, their whole thing has worked because now they can make Errol Spence versus Terence Crawford, but now they don't want to risk it because people go, but Crawford's nothing. Why do we want to pay for that for? So their marketing backfired, really, didn't it? Yeah, Boxing UK. Been my friend, sporting, the leading light, proper good guy. Thanks, man. I appreciate you, my man. I appreciate you. We have to have a catch up, Stephen. We have to have a catch up. Last question. Do you think Lomachenko has a good chance of being champion again? Absolutely. Absolutely. Why does politics have to ruin boxing? Does my head in the best fights just take the piss to get made? Yeah. I mean, unfortunately, it's always been that way. It's just that they never had social media, so therefore we weren't privy to a lot of the stuff that goes on. So, of course, when people look back at the older days, if you like, people go, yeah, but everybody fought everybody and whatever else. Yeah, they did. But there's always a lot of politics behind it. And sometimes fights fell through that we didn't even know were even a talking point. If Al Haymon broke, then UK #1 in the world basketball. I don't know what you're on about. It said PBC. The PBC, they can't get the funds. Usyk all day long, absolutely. That over Wilder, easy work, of course. Yeah, Linda, hope you're good. Hope you're good. Welcome. Thanks very much, channel member right there. And all the other channel members in the chat as well. Big up to you. I mean, can you get stripped from Ring Magazine? Yeah, you can. Tyson Fury got stripped originally. That's down to inactivity and level of opposition when eventually he did come back, take on Fury, so they stripped him. The AJ Tyson Fury cancellation videos have me dying, especially the thumbnails. It's my part and I'll cry if I want to. Yeah. So true though. So facts. But please, Wilder is a chosen one. He's like a real life one punch man. All Wilder needs is 1 second. Please have faith in the bomb squad. Deontay Wilder can do more than just twerking. Yeah. He can wish he was pregnant, as he apparently does. When this didn't show Wilder the books for third AJ fight, Did they UK blame DAZN Wilder? Checkmate. You see, Dub. See, this is the problem. I have to do thinking for you. Okay, Wilder was offered a guaranteed purse. Wasn't offered a split. Okay, so it didn't matter how much the money made, how much the fight made, for example, across the two fights. So 100 million for Wilder. That's what you get paid. Whether you win, whether you lose, whether you draw over two fights, that's what you get paid. Whether the pay-per-views or the events sky high or whether they flop, you get paid exactly the same. With Terence Crawford, he's getting paid a percentage. Therefore, he wants to know, well, how much does my 35% actually equate to at the end of it? I want to see proof of how much the pay-per-view's done. You see, C-Dub? You try to be smart, but you're just not smart enough to know sporting icons. What can you say? Yeah. I was, Nick? Really? Thanks, man. Who do you think would win, Wilder or Usyk? Okay, sorry. I've already asked that question. Okay. Okay, something's gone wrong with the chat, or you're copy-pasting. I don't know. Yo, Daz. Hope you're good, man. Hope you're good. Hope you're good. 1 million it was. 1 million. Okay, sorry. I think I'm a bit behind on the chat. I'm guessing you're talking about Boatsy Yard. Maybe that was 1 million, maybe. Joe should leave Queensbury if he wants the best fights of his career. I don't know. I think Frank Warren, he seems to have played the long game and it's working for him, to be honest. It really has. Big up Frank Warren. I believe Joyce, Sanchez, Piccoli, Fury, top four. Maybe. I don't know about Sanchez right now. And I'd like to see, to be honest, I'd like to see Joe Joyce versus Mike Piccoli. I'd love to see that fight. Love that fight. Okay. Loma Beast, he certainly is. Yeah, Zimko Boxing, hope you're good. Hope you're good. Another channel member right there. See, they've designed it off a while since. Oh, there you go. See. Sometimes you have to do thinking for these people. You just do. Slow Joe, a total nightmare for anybody. You're not wrong. You're not wrong. Can you rate the top 5 welterweights or lightweights in your opinion? My top 5 for welterweights. Okay, do welterweights. Terence Crawford, number 1. Virgil Ortiz, number 2. Bruce Ennis, number 3. Errol Spence Jr., number 4. And number 5. Maybe Avanesian. Maybe. I'd love to say Conor Benn, but that wouldn't be true right now, would it? Why does Tyson Fury lie a lot? Because he's insecure. That seems to be the way. Fury ducking AJ don't make me laugh. Just because you don't want something to be true, don't mean it ain't. Fury, even though a champion, seems more chelp than champ. But he wasn't showed the books. That's fundamental. If you're thinking Cat was good, you would know it doesn't matter. Want to see the books. He didn't want to see the books. He wanted to know how much AJ was getting paid. That's not seeing the books. You do know what the books are, right? But even so, he's getting paid 100 million. At that time, Wilder's biggest purse was $2.1 million. That's his highest purse at that time. No, I'm lying on that one. His highest purse was 7 million at that time. But either way, he was getting paid undisputed for 2 fights, 100 million. And what you want to know how much AJ was getting? You know, AJ was getting 20 times more than what he was getting up to that point. But he wanted it to be 50-50 split, even though AJ had unified all the belts and he had unified none and beaten nobody. But that's okay, C-Dub. You can keep your narratives because you love Wilder. That's fine. What would you say be the maximum deadline for Fury AJ fight to get made? I'll probably imagine end of next week. End of next week, it has to be. Barry Hearn didn't want it, and neither did Haymon or PBC. But they both whooped and say, so hey ho. Yeah, Barry Hearn wasn't involved though. Barry Hearn's not involved in boxing. Wilder's biggest mistake was turning down 100 million. Absolutely. Crawford needs to know 35% of what? 35% of what the fight night generates. So his 35%. Okay, it's like, for example, it could. He's not shown the books. He fights Errol Spence Jr. The event makes 100 million. Example. So therefore, 100 million profit in that, of course. Then that would mean that Terence Crawford gets 35 million. But Al Haymon can say it didn't make 100 million. It made about 50 million. You see what I mean? So therefore, Crawford's only going to get 35% of 50 million, but he's not going to show Terence Crawford all the books of what it generated, all that kind of stuff. So if that makes sense, that's why Terence Crawford and his team want to see the books. They quite literally want to go through everything. Say, okay, well, how many pay-per-views did it generate? What kind of pay-per-views? Because obviously in America, they have a lot of pay-per-views out over there in the cinema and things like that. 1 second, guys. 1 second. I'll be back in a second. All right, everyone, I'm back. Sorry about that. After Char, perhaps Fury can take on Obiuchi. He's now out of prison again. Obiuchi is undefeated. There's the selling point. You know what? It wouldn't surprise me what Tyson Fury does next. Would not surprise me at all. Really wouldn't. After Manuel Chai, probably take on Ajay Cabiel or something like that, you know. Whether a percentage or whatever, you want to see how much the entire deal, how much of the pie you're getting. Well, yeah, if you're going to get a percentage, then obviously you need to see. Of course you do. But if you're getting a guaranteed amount, why do you care? Who wins? Bacoli, Joyce? Oh, that's tough. I'm going to favour Joyce right now. I'll favour Joyce. But I wouldn't be surprised if Bacoli just broke him down. I wouldn't be surprised. Both of them two, that they're going to get in the middle of that ring and just start clubbing each other. They really are. Wilder didn't need to see the books. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Wilder still made close to 100 million in 4 fights instead of 3 with DAZN. C-Dub, what is wrong with you? Oh my God. It was 120 million for 3 fights, right? 100 million for 2 Anthony Joshua fights, plus another 20 million for Dominic Brazil. That's 120 million. Take Brazil out of the equation, 100 million for 2 fights with Anthony Joshua 4 undisputed. Right, so therefore 100 million for 4 fights, as what you're saying is he's had to do double the work, and he got his ass battered on 2 occasions for that. Jesus. Wilder's never beat a non-bum his protected joke career, exactly, with his sleeve. Who AJ fighting next? Hopefully Fury. Hopefully. But if not, I'd like to see him take on Zilly Zhang, someone like that. Maybe Martin Bacoli. Why not? Billy Nelson seems to have a real dislike for Anthony Joshua, so something's happened there. So maybe there's a bit of beef. I guess have Joshua versus Bacoli. Joe blocking shots with his face is ready to be dropped viciously by Wilder. You love Wilder, didn't you? Jesus. What was about Char, but who is AJ fighting? Well, it ain't going to be Manuel Char, is it? And even if it was, it ain't going to be... Well, AJ's not WBC World Heavyweight Champion, so even if he does fight Char, it's more acceptable than Tyson Fury fighting Char, who isn't coming off 2 losses. Fury doesn't want none of Joyce after watching him destroy #1 sparring partner Parker. Queensbury never make that fight. He seemed quite nervous, didn't he? He did. Yorkie Elliott. Fury won't fight in-house Joyce because even though he'll probably win, Joyce will make Fury look bad. You don't want it. Joyce is a problem for anybody. No doubt. Korean Kid. All of my 50 years on this earth, I've never seen anyone as skilled as Jake Paul. And that's the speed of Mike Tyson, the power of Ali, the ferocity of Andy Ruiz Jr. We're so lucky to have Jake Paul. I can totally agree with you on that one. I can totally agree with you. C-Dub again. Nah, blame Bud. Still like you're blame Wilder. No one to see how much you're getting paid. Just be happy with what you're getting. Very business savvy. Eh? But as I said, Crawford's getting a percentage, not a guaranteed amount. If he's getting a guaranteed amount, he wouldn't need to see the books, would he? I mean, come on. There you go. There you go. Who's buying Wilder versus Hellenius? See what box office draw then. No, I will not be. $75 for that. Sheesh. But at least Hellenius is a better opponent than Manuel Char, let's be honest. I want to buy Eubank versus Benn on pay-per-view, but can't stand AD Alapio. Okay, who's that? Why do they bring that bloke everywhere? He's the biggest casual ever. Oh, you know about that boxing aid guy on DAZN now? He's got a YouTube channel apparently, hasn't he? Yeah, I don't know. To be honest. Is Twerkalicious pregnant yet? Maybe that's why he's been out of the ring for so long. He's been trying. DWC close to 100 million for 2 fights, not 3 or 4. They made close to 100 million. Worst mistake of his career, and he knows it. Absolutely. Is there any confirmation that Bud Crawford and Spence getting it on? No, only by Stephen Espinoza. He says that they're still talking, so yeah. I got booed from Boxing Ego for saying Dillian Whyte versus Ortiz was not bigger in the US than Whyte versus Chisora in the UK. I think Whyte versus Ortiz would have been quite a big fight at the time. Would have been. But yeah, in the UK, it was certainly a big fight. But I'm going to not get booted like the boxing voice. Sport and icons, two-cheek controversy. Yep. Yeah, I won't boot you. See, I only boot people if they try to get personal. I don't boot people for having an opinion. Why do people say that Tyson Fury is the best when he beat journeymen like Steve Cunningham and Kevin Johnson? He's only beaten Wilder, Klitschko, and Whyte. Yeah, exactly. That's 3 names. So hopefully, if he does go down as the best of this era, it is because he's fought and defeated, or even just fought Joshua, Usyk, and Joyce at this stage. Maybe even Frankie Sanchez could be rearing his head around the corner soon. So, will Fury wait on Usyk? That's the big question. Fury is #1 marketing genius. Will he wait on Usyk? I don't know what he's going to do. I don't know what the hell's going on with Usyk, to be honest. It's like Usyk saying 1 minute he's got old injuries, he wants to spend time with his family, isn't going to fight again until the spring of next year. Then in another breath, he wants to fight in December against Wilder. So I don't know what Usyk's playing at. Again, that's according to his manager, by the way. They won't give Bud a rematch clause. Those are the latest reports here in America. Is that what it is? They won't give him a rematch clause. Interesting. Very interesting. That's it. They won't give him a rematch. What? But, I mean, are they going to give Errol Spence a rematch clause? That's weird, isn't it? Tried to super chat. Don't know why. Can't. What's it? I don't have Cash App, bro. I don't have it. I do not work in the super chat thing. That's right. I won't worry about it. I don't really do live for super chats and that, but you know what? I appreciate the sentiment, though. Thank you very much, my man. I can't wait for AJ versus Martin 2 on DAZN pay-per-view. Well, even if AJ did fight Charles Martin, better than Manuel Char. Yeah, Charles Martin would knock out Manuel Char For real. Joyce vs. Piccolo would be a great fight. Absolutely, Joker. It would. I'd love that fight. Will they do it? I doubt it, though. You're older. Should Whyte fight a top 10 fighter or just bash a few cans for a year? It depends on what they're working on, because obviously now he's got a new trainer in Buddy McGirt. It depends on what they're working on. Are they adding new things to his arsenal or whatever? Are they totally stripping him back and rebuilding him? I don't know. I really don't know. If they are, then yes, he should fight the likes of, say, Chris Arreola and whatever else. If he wants to make a real assault as soon as possible on the world title again, get back into contention, then I'd like to see him take on Dan Dubois, Joe Joyce, and all these kind of ones. I'd like to see him take on them ones. So. Did you see that Chris Arreola has been approached to fight AJ on December 17th? We're going to get the fights we've been waiting for. Fury vs. Chara and AJ vs. Arreola. AJ versus Chris Arreola. Again, Chris Arreola, to be fair, will probably beat Manuel Char. If not, it'd be quite a close fight, though, wouldn't it? Be a close one. Why does Fury need to solidify his legacy as he has no belts and lost 3 of the last 5 and undisputed is all Fury needs? What? Last 5. Usyk and undisputed is all Fury needs. Games you love, you know, I'm trying to not talk about Fury and Joshua. I understand people, of course, they want to talk about it, but I'm kind of sick to death of it. You know, there's more to it than just AJ Fury. After he called Tyson out after the AJ fight. Really? Okay. How is Joe Kazagi Welsh when he was born in London? Was he? I don't know. To be honest. But there again, you know you have nationality for where you're raised, so you know he'll have a. I don't know, to be honest. I never really thought about it. Ben and Eubank Jr. Do you think Conor, even though a good fighter, is maybe too brave for his own good? I'm sure you'll cover it more close to the time. Yeah, Yorkie, I think with this one, it's almost like Nigel Benn is more excited for this fight than the fighters. Chris Eubank Sr. seems to be almost like, I ain't bothered about this fight. And Conor, yeah, somebody should be holding him back right now. Somebody should be holding him back. But at the same time, if he does go in there and beat Eubank Jr., his stock goes right the way up. It really does. So it's a gamble. It's a gamble, but it's a gamble I'm not too sure it's going to pay off. If I'm wrong on that, I'm cool to be wrong. I'm really cool to be wrong on that. Some people are crazy. AJ is well within his right to fight a top 20 heavyweight. As a fan, I wish he'd ducked Usyk. Yeah, exactly. You know, AJ, he's come off 2 losses. To have a comeback fight, like Wilder's having a comeback fight with Hellenius, you know? If Wilder can do it, why can't AJ? You know what I mean? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. I do as well. I think Eubank is just too seasoned for him as well, to be honest. But you never know. You never know. It's your DNA. I'm Scottish. I was born here. I've never been in Scotland. Oh, okay. I thought about the Kawasaki thing. Yeah. The Bristolian Mackem. Yeah, Mackem. The last show I filmed, no, it wasn't. It was a film. It was the show before the last one. It was actually at the Stadium of Light. It's the first time that I've ever been to the Stadium of Light. Right, I'm really sorry if I'm going to miss people's comments because it's starting to come through a bit faster now. George Foreman or Muhammad Ali versus Vitaly Klitschko. Vitaly, what George Foreman of the 70s? Or George Foreman in his comeback? George Foreman in his comeback, Vitaly Klitschko beats him silly. It does. Oh, by the way, you know that I'm only one of that less than 100 people that George Foreman actually follows on social media. But Muhammad Ali versus Klitschko. Vitaly Klitschko. Again, I think Vitaly Klitschko is probably too big for Muhammad Ali. the size difference between that era of heavyweights and when Muhammad Ali was around, it's so big. But there again, Muhammad Ali had the skills to move his feet, hit, and not get hit. So maybe he would have defeated Vitaly on points. Maybe. Good question, though. Stewarty Darts. Were Scary Errol, but asked for a rematch. I type that's misinformation. Take pressure off EJ. Yeah, I don't know if that's the truth or not. If it is about the rematch clause, I have no idea. I mean, all we can do is really take on what other people are saying. That's the unfortunate truth when we have to rely on the likes of the absolute bellend in Mike Coppinger. You know, what can we do? But obviously, he's got more inside intel than most of us do. So, but the change of Eubanks make it closer than Kel versus Triple G. Yeah, that's the thing, isn't it? That's the thing. Because Triple G, he could just come in at his normal 160 pound and rehydrate to whatever he wants to rehydrate to. Eubank Jr. is not allowed to rehydrate past a certain point. I forget what it is. Was it 165 pound? So he can only put on between the day before weigh-in 8 pound on fight night, or a couple of hours before fight night, something like that. 8 pound. He's going to be drained. He's going to be really drained. I think we'll see Fury AJ. It's not this year. Ideal scenario is Fury beats Usyk. AJ wins some good comeback fights, and we see that fight in winter 2023. Yeah. Quite honestly, I'd like to see AJ come back, have a tune-up, like Wilder is against Helenius, have a tune-up, and then go fight Wilder. Just let Fury and Usyk get on with their thing. But there again, who doesn't want to see Fury and AJ? And as I said before, if AJ does go through with this fight, well, he's telling me that he's ready for this fight. If he's telling me that he's ready for this fight, then I can't come out with a whole, well, Tyson Fury, he fought Anthony Joshua when he wasn't mentally right, coming off 2 losses. Well, AJ signed the contract, so he's telling me that he's ready. Do you know what I mean? So, bacon and eggs. Hope you're good, my man. Hope you're good. Thanks very much for popping in. Harold Scornius versus William Dietz. Yeah. Harold Scornius is the man who dropped Deontay Wilder. Arguably beat him, but you know, he's allowed a bit more time to get back up. And William Dietz who knocked out Marcellus Wilder. Good fight though, wasn't it? Fight of the journeyman. Are you going to watch Dillian's return in November? I'm going. The only Whyte fight I've missed was the Fury fight. Can't wait. Yeah, well, it depends on where it is and when it is. It's definitely going to be November. I know that Dillian said about November, but I don't know, to be honest. I mean, I imagine it'll probably be the O2 Arena, won't it? Whoever it is that he fights at the O2. Bluesy Blues! Chris Eubank Sr. wasn't half the boxer if you made him come to you. I think Junior shares the same weakness. It's not Ben's natural style to do this. Yeah, Ben's natural style is to come forward and throw bombs. So that's really going to play into Junior's hands, isn't it? Unless, of course, he lands a peach of a shot on Junior. Can Junior take the punch? People don't realise Ali was bigger than Usyk. Vitaly wins 1 round. No. I think Ali and Usyk were about the same kind of size, weren't they? Well, I think Ali, he was, 6'3"? Usyk's 6'4". Or have I got that the wrong way around? Be interesting though, won't it? Rehydration clauses are the dumbest thing in boxing. I totally agree with that. It's dangerous, and I'm surprised the British Boxing Board of Control have allowed that, considering all the things that's happened in the British boxing rings over the years with Michael Watson and what have you. You think that there'd be a little bit more. No. That rehydration clause ain't happening. But they're not. Why? Because the board want to make some money, don't they? That's why. If AJ fights Wilder and gets KO'd, Fury will never fight him. He probably would. Fury likes to have almost guaranteed wins. Would you be happy with Fury versus Ruiz? Not overly. Not overly. But only because we know what the result is. We know. Fury will fight Ruiz the same way Joshua fought Ruiz in the rematch. Stick to the outside, win it with a jab. So it's not really an exciting fight, do you know what I mean? At least Ruiz versus Wilder, it's unlikely he's going to beat Ruiz just by using the jab. He's going to try and knock him out. So, Ben got no chance. It's a cash-out fight. I've got a feeling you might be right on that one. You might be right. I thought Ali and Usyk were the same height. Yeah, exactly. That's what I thought. Joyce made WBO interim champion to block a Coley. Yeah. WBO cruiserweight champion to muscle in on DAZN heavyweight monopoly. Warren called in a favour just on the spot conspiracy. Yeah, you know, it makes sense. Because in theory, a Coley could vacate his WBO cruiserweight world title and immediately become the mandatory in the WBO. But now if he does it, he'll have to fight Joe Joyce for it. So, yeah. Again, Warren is one step ahead of Eddie Hearn, it seems, lately. It really does. Again, I apologise if I miss anybody. Was Wilder and Clit almost guaranteed wins? Wilder's a guaranteed win, yeah, absolutely. Klitschko, no, that wasn't a guaranteed win. It wasn't. And again, that was down to Peter Fury more than anything else. Last but not least, DAZN CEO confirmed DAZN dropped the ball in wild negotiations, just saying, guess he should have showed the books. Who said that? The CEO. Oh, you know about that John Skipper? You have to remember that Shelley Finkel, he said that Shelley Finkel will make the fight when Shelley Finkel has a good relationship with DAZN, the CEO at the time, John Skipper. So Shelley Finkel's telling us that he is going to make the fight, not Wilder. So in other words, Wilder does whatever Shelley Finkel tells him to do, right? Again, apologies if I miss anybody's comments. We as boxing fans complain about the corruption of boxing. We also encourage and support fighters who play clever when it comes to avoiding certain challenges for a clean record. Yeah, exactly. We are to blame for it, Kareem. You're absolutely correct. Yeah. Spence, yeah, I don't know what's going on with Spence. He's been running scared for the longest time. Frank runs heavyweight division. Yes, he does. And I made the prediction on this one, Games, which was, I made the prediction probably about a year ago that I could see what it was that Frank Warren was doing. And I made a video on it. Some of you, well, hopefully you remember it. If not, it's still up on the channel, where I said that Frank Warren has moved his people into the right position. Tyson Fury defeated Deontay Wilder, so that's WBC belt. He maneuvered down Dubois to get Bogdan Dinu to move into the WBA position, and then Joe Joyce. So he's been playing that hand, and I've foreseen what it was that he was doing, and he's done fantastic. So big up to Frank Warren. Just when people think Frank Warren is down and out, he rises from the ashes like a phoenix, doesn't he? He really does. So big up Frank Warren. Maybe no one can drop Joyce. He have a good engine, hard enough to... Yeah, exactly. Joe Joyce is difficult. Difficult, because if you don't stop Joe Joyce, if you don't knock him out, how are you going to beat him? You could say, well, you could just circle around and use the jab and beat him on points. Yeah, but at some point, he's going to trap you. You know, it's difficult. With Hearn, does wobbly leg Dillian Whyte know that Buddy McGirt is best at throwing in the towel early? Is he? Okay. Oh. Who are your top 5 heavyweights? I don't really have a top 5 heavyweights. Do you mean who do I think is the top 5, or who are my favourite top 5 heavyweights? Because so they'd be totally different answers. Nick Harmer. Wilder versus Ruiz will be good. Yeah. I do favour Wilder in that fight, though. I do. Does Joyce have one of the goat chins? Yeah. I would say so. I would definitely say so. Although, you see, people, and listen, I was guilty of it myself, saying what a great performance it was over Joseph Parker, and it was. But Parker had moments in that fight. He did. When he pushed on Joyce and kept throwing that left hook, when he landed like 150,000 left hooks on Joyce's chin, backing him up, that was really good of Parker. You know what I mean? The body shots and then to come upstairs. But unfortunately, he had no dent in him. You know what I mean? It's like trying to hit a zombie. You know what I mean? If AJ beats Fury, Wilder beats AJ, and Fury has beaten Wilder, wouldn't we be in the same position we were pre-Fury comeback? Yeah, we would. But you know what? Heavyweight boxing, you never know what's going to happen, do you? Is Dillian Whyte in a relationship with Dean Fury? That's a bit of a strange question, isn't it? The man with a dummy in his mouth and his avatar. Facts, AJ isn't going to beat Fury. It's not a fact, it's your opinion. Agni, I say this to you all the time. You seem to think a lot of things are facts. There's a difference between a fact and an opinion. There's a huge difference. Who are your favourite? Well, heavyweights. Who are my favourite heavyweights? Well, my favourite heavyweights are Stephen Robinson, Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, Tyson Fury, and probably Fabio Wardley. They're probably my favourite ones. But are they the top 5? No, definitely not. Hatman says, Wack and Owen McCall have better chins than Joyce. Do you agree? Nope. Apparently, and again, according to, was it Sauerland? Marius Wack was taking PEDs, which is something to do with his chin. So, is Galahad always robbed in his defeat, or is this a product of his own negativity? It's a product of his own negativity. He fights. I don't know. I don't like how he fights, to be honest. I used to rate him more than most people did, but Marius Wack has a better chin than Joyce. No, I'm not sure he does. Marius Wack has been stopped, so by lesser opposition. Fury, Wilder, Usyk, Joyce, AJ. What? They're your favourite ones, are they? Huh? Babby. Okay. Great. Do you think Wilder vs Fury 4 would happen eventually? Oh, let's hope not. Let's hope not. I don't want to see that pile of shit. I really don't. Did you watch Spencer Oliver interview on IFL or Frank Warren Talksport? Frank Warren I did on Talksport. Spencer Oliver, no. I've met Spencer Oliver a few times, but I've never interviewed him myself. And no, I don't watch really his interviews. Spencer Oliver, he kind of strikes me as a guy who wants to be in Anthony Joshua's camp. So we'll downgrade people in Anthony Joshua's camp in the hope that he gets a job. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think it is. But I could be wrong on that one. Let's say it's facts. I was taking on the person called... okay. Apologies in Agni. Take Fury out of there. You don't like him. Maybe I don't like Fury. I do like Fury. I like his boxing. I don't like his bullshit. Yeah, he hates Fury. He hates him. There's too many people worry too much about whether or not I like Fury or whether I don't. I don't know why that's of any concern to these absolute women. That's what they are. Chicks with dicks. Wilder's chin might be gone after his last fight. That's the only thing that makes the Helenius fight slightly interesting for me. I think Wilder blitzes him, but there's that unknown factor. If Robert Helenius lands on Wilder and lands flush, then Wilder will go. But don't be surprised if Helenius has agreed to take some kind of dive. Listen, we've all seen the Malik Scott fight. We've all seen it. Okay, so don't be surprised, being that Helenius, of course, is very good friends with Wilder, or at least sparring partners. Fury owes Wallin a rematch, not Char fight no one wants to watch. Yeah, I'd rather see that fight, no doubt. And Wallin should really, in theory, be sat there as lineal champion right now, shouldn't he? You think Fury Wilder 4 would be after seeing the third fight? Nah. I don't want to see. No, I don't care if the fight would be a great fight. I have no interest in seeing it. I really don't. The boxing factor. Marius Watt may have a better chin than Joyce. Think about it. Watt only got put down for the first time in his last fight. Look at his and he fought and put down. No. It's a case of he has been stopped before, though. He's been stopped on his feet, that kind of thing. Hitting the deck, I mean, that's chin, that's neck, and that's legs as well. It's all about balance as well. But I don't know. I mean, maybe Matt Watt's got a better chin than Joyce. Very possible. Just seeing Frank Warren say AJ wasn't happy that Queensberry had final say. If they don't agree on something, so Warren said they could appoint an independent arbitrator if they want to. Yeah, do it. Let them call that arbitrator to just go through it all. Why not? Why not? Have you seen George Arias? Yeah. Short, slick, heavyweight from Dominican Republic. I think he's 18-0 right now. Just had his first step up, did very well. Probably the best heavyweight prospect in USA. Oh, really? Okay, you rate him that high? Okay. I think most people, if you ask people US-based, who's the best prospect, they'll probably say their own American heavyweight in Jared Anderson. I mean, would anybody say Jermaine Franklin or DeCarry Scott? Some people were saying him at one time. But yeah, there's a few good heavyweights coming up. There's a couple from New Zealand and whatever as well. So the heavyweight division ain't going anywhere fast. There's a lot of them coming through. How far do you think Tommy Fury can go? Probably to the shops and back. That's about as far as he can go. Tommy Fury, garbage, man. Absolute garbage. Or at least at this stage, he shows that he's garbage. And he's scared of a YouTuber. You know what I mean? AJ vs. Ruiz 3. No, thank you. I don't want to see that fight. I have no interest in that fight whatsoever. At all. Unless, of course, Ruiz manages to get a WBC belt and AJ manages to get another belt and it's unification, fair play. But just a regular fight? Nah. Definitely not. Vitali may have had a better chin than Joyce. Oh, yeah, Vitali was solid, wasn't he? But again, I mean, Vitali didn't take that many shots. I mean, he took a few. He took Lennox Lewis's shots, that's for sure, and Corey Sanders as well. Well, I think Corey Sanders is probably the only person really to have legitimately wobbled Vitali Klitschko, momentarily wobbled. You could argue that Corey Sanders actually had him on the canvas, but the referee didn't count it. Arguable. Do you think Warren would have unflushed Deontay in old Baz's toilet if you give him a chance? I have no for I'm arguing that. I'm answering that. Punch resistance can increase by gaining weight. Punch resistance to the head. Because see, when it comes to like Joe Joyce, it's like people say his chin, but his body ain't great. You know what I mean? We've seen Joe Joyce hurt to the body. Brian Jennings hurt him to the body. Brian Jennings arguably beat Joe Joyce, arguably. So, the Charlie's chin is pretty untested, in my opinion. Yes, he took that big Lennox Lewis uppercut. There you go. But other than that, there's not much going on. Saunders arguably dropped him. There you go. See, there you go. Exactly. We're saying the same thing there, Joker. Don't write Tommy Fury off. Tyson wasn't very good when he starts to quote. Yeah, that is true. That is true. That is true. I remember watching Tyson Fury when he first turned pro, and for his first, I don't know, half a dozen fights or so, or dozen fights, I was looking at him going, "You're just big, clunky, and you have no rhythm to you. You're going to get absolutely wasted. When you finally move up in levels, you're going to get wasted." And I thought Derek Chisora might beat him, but he didn't. So, but he definitely lost to John McDermott, though. 100% he lost to John McDermott, no doubt. But to be fair, in the rematch, I absolutely battered him. So, I have to look more into Jared Anderson. Isn't he ranked though, which makes him more of a fringe contender? I'll check him out though. Yeah, yeah, Matt. He's probably ranked in the WBO as he's a top ranked fighter. So we know the WBO they do show a bit of favouritism when it comes to Top Rank and Queensberry. So, no, that was a drop. It was a drop. Or, in my opinion, it was a drop. Maybe a lot of you would disagree. Do you think it makes sense for Yarde and Boatsy to fight next instead of gambling to see if one or both of them can pick up a strap? Yeah, it does. It does. Because right now, both of them are not looking like they're going to win a world championship. I mean, I hope I'm wrong on that. But if any of them's going to, I'd favour Boatsy to win a world title before Yarde. Yarde, I don't know, he's too inactive, he's one. And no, his gas tank's terrible. And I think that Beterbiev is going to absolutely wipe the floor with Anthony Yarde. Again, I'd love to be wrong. I would love to be wrong. Could Conor Benn beat the current world champions? No. But, I mean, say could he beat? He could if he lands the punch. But Errol Spence Jr. and Terence Crawford would wipe the floor with Conor Benn right now, in my opinion. So would Boots Ennis. So would Virgil Ortiz. They would destroy Conor Benn. Again, I'd like to be proven wrong on that. I'd love it. I would love Conor Benn to go on and become world champion and all that kind of stuff and dominate the welterweight division. I would absolutely love it, but I have to be real. I think that at the top end, they'll destroy Conor Benn at the minute. At the minute, in a couple of years, we could have a totally different conversation. Who has a higher ceiling, Dubois or Anderson? I think Darren Dubois. Anderson's a little bit wild. Do you know what I mean? He has that kind of like rawness about him. He still has that rawness. He's a little overconfident because he hasn't been punched back yet, not properly. But you put Anderson in there with Darren Dubois right now, I think Darren Dubois beats him. I said maybe a year or so down the line, we could be having a totally different conversation. But again, yeah, why don't we see Darren Dubois versus Jared Anderson? I mean, long term, I mean, we could say Anderson may go on and do something, but I think currently, of what we see right now, Darren Dubois is probably going to be the one to go on a little bit further than Anderson. But you never know. You never know. Anthony Joshua looked much better than Tyson Fury early in his career. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he did. And again, you see, you have to remember, Anthony Joshua hasn't had as many fights as Tyson Fury. He hasn't been a pro for as long as Tyson Fury either. So Anderson at the moment, went to see him retested though. Yeah, that's the thing. We need to see him tested. That is the thing. Oh, to Ronan, it wasn't a robbery. McDermott only landed a few more punches. John Case can be made for a draw. No, it can't be made. Early Fury in Channel 5 always looked skilled to me, but I thought he'd never get to the top because he looked weak and chinny. Yeah. It wasn't really until he went with Peter. That's when he really started to come into his own. Was when he went with Peter. In his early days with Tyson Fury, when he was with, obviously his dad, of course. Then, of course, you're talking about him being with Rob McCracken. And, of course, his Uncle Huey as well. But it wasn't really until he went to Peter that he really started to come into his own. Peter found the perfect style for him at that time. El Caxi, 1971, what's up? I just got another notification. Fill me in, mate. Oh, we're just having a chat about anything and anything at the minute, my man. Anything and anything. There's no real topic at the minute. Although I'm going to get off soon. We've been live for over an hour. I said I was going to be on for an hour. But now it's gone an hour and 5 minutes. Did Ben and Eubank give each other their speech impediments from their wars? Yeah. I think that Eubank, of course, he won the first fight. The rematch, I think Nigel Benn won that one. I do. I think that draw was unfair. Agni, it was considered such a robbery that the BBFC, the British Political Control, changed the way English title fights were judged. There you go. There you go. Why should beat Wallen comfortably if that gets made? I agree with that. Yeah, Wallen did better than than Whyte against Fury, but I think the one in fight is just terrible performance from Fury. Whyte by stoppage. I was with Otto Wallin in Cardiff. I was in his changing room with him. He's doing like the warm-ups, hitting the pads and all that kind of stuff. His trainer has those high boots, because obviously Wallin's a big guy, but I was surprised at how wide Wallin is. Wallin is not an athlete. He's not that fast. He's actually quite slow. And he really struggled when he went to the ring with Sokolowski. He really did, but I mean, I don't know. I think that Dillian Whyte beats Otto Wallin. Been an interesting fight though, because again, we don't really know, do we? Because obviously Dillian Whyte, he hasn't fought a southpaw before, so maybe he'd really struggle with a southpaw. Joker Wallin only won 3 rounds against Fury. It's all of the cut of getting people talking. It wasn't just a cut. He had Fury doing a silly dance in round number 12, if you remember. I agree with, but Fury looked flat in that one. He certainly did. Okay. All right, that's to Nick. I thought it was another uncle called Huey Fury who built. Yeah. It was, but Peter had him more coordinated. When Peter was in Tyson's corner, actually, here's a fact. No, not one Peter Fury fighter has ever hit the canvas while Peter has been in the corner. Not one of them's ever been knocked out. That's a fact. No fighter has ever hit the canvas while Peter Fury's been in the corner. Of course, there's still plenty of time for that to totally change, but currently no fighter has ever been knocked down or knocked out while Peter Fury's in the corner. One looked so average against Sokolowski. Certainly did. Well, I remember after the fight with Otto Wallin and Sokolowski, Wallin, he went up to his change room, got changed and everything like that. I went downstairs and I was just speaking to like somebody random outside the building, and Wallin walked past me, and he smiled. I smiled, and then Wallin, he started laughing because we both knew that that was a shit performance. So yeah. He basically does make me laugh though. When he started his career in the US, he came back talking with an American accent. A year later, he changed it to a pretentious upper class English accent. Yeah, I know. And yet he still has it now, doesn't he? It's weird, isn't it? Wasn't a dance. Fury just backed up to the corner. I watched it last night. It was a brief dance. It was. Just watch his leg. It shakes a bit. Unless, of course, he stumbled. I don't know. Maybe. Joshua versus Whyte 2 or Fury versus Joshua? Right now, Fury versus Joshua. Right now. AJ versus Joyce would be perfect right now. If AJ wins, he's right back at the top. If Joyce wins, he establishes himself as the top 3. Yeah. Why not? That's that. You'll jinx the Marshall Shields fight. Yeah, I know. Yeah. Well, I can't see Shields knocking her out. I can't see it. Miss Havana's got a pretty decent pair of whiskers. She has, but hey, you never know. It's boxing. Fury had 70-odd stitches. The fight should definitely been stopped, and Wallin should have won. Anyone who says otherwise can only be fanboying. Yeah, absolutely. I mean, as a Brit, I'm pleased that they didn't, and Tyson Fury got the win, but I can understand that. I mean, had that not been a top-ranked show, that fight would have been stopped. You know it. Savage going for the KO, Guerrero in second. Like I told you. Peter Fury should train Tommy. I don't know if they speak, to be honest. I have no idea. Clark versus Torres. Is that Fraser Clark? Fraser Clark, real cool guy. I interviewed Fraser Clark from the WhatsApp on my phone before the Olympics. What a humble man, though. I really, really like Fraser Clark. I really, really like him. Stephen Robinson, obviously, who's a very good friend of mine, he's been sparring Fraser Clark over there in Portugal quite recently. But of course, they sparred some years ago anyway when Stephen was an amateur as well. But yeah, I really like Fraser Clark. I really do. Troy Williamson versus Josh Kelly. Yes, please. Yes, please. Love that fight. As to who wins and who I want to win, I am quite honestly on the fence with that. It's a 50-50 fight for me. All I know is I'm going to be there, or at least I hope to be there. 47 stitches. Oh, was that for Fury? It was nasty, wasn't it? I don't understand. Since Joyce KO Parker, does that mean he can stop Joshua since Joshua went rounds, or is that just Styles? No, that's just Styles. That's just Styles. I mean, I'll put it this way: just because Joyce knocked out Parker and Joshua went the distance with Parker, that doesn't mean that Joyce knocks out Joshua. It could happen, of course. Likewise, maybe Joyce would knock out Joshua early, or maybe Joyce would get knocked out. Again, if you go back to the amateurs, Joshua gets a first-round knockout win over Joe Joyce, if you remember. So Joe Joyce, he can be knocked out. He got put down on his backside against Sergey Kuzmin, if you remember that. Tommy Fury is an influence boxer at best, not champion material. I totally agree with that. Joyce versus Clark was a good amateur fight. Yeah, it was. Well, Clark, did he ever record a win over Joe Joyce? I think they fought about 3 or 4 times, didn't they? But I got a feeling Joe Joyce won all of them. I know one of them he stopped Fraser Clark. But I don't think Peter has anything to do with John Side anymore. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know either, to be honest. I don't know. Why should the Warren fight have been stopped if Fury survived? Well, it's like any fight getting stopped, isn't it? You stop it to save that fighter. Fury should have been stopped to save him. Luckily, it all worked out for him in the end, but will you watch Fury vs. Char? Nope. Definitely will not. Wasn't Joshua vs. Joyce a standing stoppage? Yeah, it was. He buzzed Joyce on 3 occasions in the first round. Then the referee just waved it off. Kuzmin knocked out Joyce. Yep, he did. Fraser beat Ali. Ali beat George Foreman, but Foreman lost to Ali. Boxing triangles don't work, exactly. That is true. All right, you guys talk to each other, so I'll skip past your ones. Why was the Lennox Vitali stop fight if Vitali was surviving? Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Sport Icons is a legend. Been tuned into you from the start. I appreciate it, Adam. Thank you very much, my man. Thank you very much. Agni, maybe you need to stop talking about this one. The chat's going to end up burying you. Would you regret not watching Fury vs. Char? Somehow an upset happened and Char won. Yeah, I'll be gutted. I'll be gutted I didn't see it. But at the same time, if Char won, I'll be gutted because I don't want Manuel Char to get a win over Tyson Fury. Now, if Tyson Fury fights for the next 3 or 4 years and fights the top opponents out there, right, top opponent after top opponent, he's going to lose once or twice along the way. He's going to. It's going to happen. So if Tyson Fury is going to lose, then I want him to lose because he's testing himself, not against this absolute bum. Ari, David Woods, hope you're good. Hope you're good. Right, everyone, I have to go because my 2 puppies have just woken up and they're going to need some exercise. If I let them out now, they come in here, they're going to be jumping all over me in the laptop. And if I want to see Jack Catterall, yeah, no rubbish this time. Yeah, hopefully not. Well, I've seen that Josh Taylor has left Ben Davison now. Boris versus Putin should happen. Yeah, I got Putin in that one. Do you think AJ was changed because of Ruiz in the fight 74? Yeah. He realizes what's coming back now. Absolutely. Brian Sears, Ariola versus Chisora is the best fight for viewers. You think so? Has anyone in the UK YouTube possibly ever seen Hatman in real life? I don't know, to be honest. I have no idea. I'm sure somebody knows him. I think Boxing Bigs and Rhymes knows him. Or maybe, I'm not sure, to be honest. Why is the Fury fight not signed? that's all down to the commercial deals. Anthony Joshua just needs to get the green light from all his commercial deals, endorsements, and whatever, and then the fight will get signed. But that shouldn't stop Fury and Joshua getting into camp, getting ready for the fight, because they're all going to agree. Let's be honest. Had the fights made, just can't find a venue. Crazy. Oh, there you go. Boxing beats some rhymes. Lack 74, what's up? What's up? What's going on with Errol and Bud? Oh, Lord knows. If we're to go by Mike Coppinger tonight, it seems that Al Haymon is making it as difficult as he possibly can. Devin Haney's going to win it on points again, I think. What the negotiations? I don't know. As long as it happens before fight night, I'll be fine. You know, the most important thing is that they have an agreement, and they're going to fight on December the 3rd, so they should just get training for that. I mean, it'll happen. The damage, or should just risk someone's health because you support them. Well, there you go. When are you going to take the Huskies on holiday to Norway? Yeah, that'd be interesting, wouldn't it? Or take to Iceland. Yes, yeah. I'd love to see it visit Norway, to be fair. I like the wild, you know what I mean? Because it's like in Norway, they have like mountains and forests and all that kind of stuff. And yeah, I love that kind of stuff. And I think my Huskies would too. They really would. All right, everybody. I'm going to try and come online again later on. I should have time later on. I don't have any kind of plan right now. So, yeah. I'll try and come online. I'll try and give everybody like an hour notice. I'll put like a link, a post out on social media, on my Twitter. And of course, I'll put one out here on YouTube in the community section as well. So hopefully you all do it. All right. I have to shoot. I'm going to have to shoot. Oh, one there. Do you think Fury would handle AJ easily? He could. He certainly could. The funny trash talker, Fury or Hay? Oh, definitely David Hay. He was great in there. All right, everybody. Thanks very much. And I'll catch you all in probably a couple of hours. Catch you all later. Take care.